This friggin' team, man. This friggin' team. Pathetic, embarrassing, disgusting. We're going to go through all of it right here on Boy Green Daily. Let's go.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcasts. And I just have to say right off the top, cover your children's ears, because I'd like to say, fuck you, New York Jets. Everything went right for this New York Jets team. The Cincinnati Bengals lose on Thursday Night Football. The Indianapolis Colts lose. The Denver Broncos lose last second. Everything that could have went right for the Jets from a playoff perspective went right before the game. And what did the Jets do with that? Nothing. Zero. Zip and pip. Nothing. That sucks so bad. That is so demoralizing as a fan. Because it'd be one thing if the Jets won and they did everything they could, but all the other things didn't work out. Oh, well. The other things did work out, which makes the present feel even worse. Pathetic. Terrible. Disgusting. And if I have to hear, there are two things that are super annoying. Number one, Jeff Ulbrich in the press conference every time saying, well, I'm going to take a hard look at that. What does that even mean, man? We're so sick and tired of hearing that. That's so friggin' annoying. We're going to take a hard look at that. Yeah, that's highly encouraging that problem is going to get fixed. So number one, that's super annoying. And the other super annoying word salad that comes out after these games, the energy seemed to be lacking. How could it be lacking? How? How could it be lacking? How? I don't understand. I don't understand, man. I don't think I'm ever going to understand. How could the energy be lacking? Your season is on the line. You're coming off a Thursday night football game that you performed very well in the second half. How can the energy be lacking all of these different games? That's on you guys. It's not just like the energy fairy forgot to visit the Jets when they were in Arizona. Oh, wait, what time zone is that? That's not what happened. There is no energy fairy. You have to have energy because you are professional athletes, for God's sakes, man. We as fans pour our heart and soul into you, and you give us nothing. Nothing. You had me, Jets. You know, I'm Walter White from Breaking Bad. You got me. You got me. I wanted to believe, and I believed so hard. I'm like, oh, perfect. That second half of the Texans, you spark. That can start a run here. No run started. The winning streak lasted all of one game. And then the Jets lost. Just pisses me off, man. You want to know something else that pisses me off? Is that I caped so hard for this elite defense. Elite my ass. The first 5 drives of the game for the Cardinals were touchdown, 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 field goal, touchdown. And all of the drives, 70 yards, 70 yards, 70 yards, 49 yards, 88 yards. This Jets defense got pistol whipped down the field over and over and over again. They can't friggin' tackle. That's on the players. That's on the coaching. The coaching staff sucks. You want to know what I was worried about? You know, like, oh, boy, if a new coach comes in, oh, geez, we're not going to have the Jeff Ulbrich era. Thank God, because the Jeff Ulbrich era sucks. The Robert Saleh era sucks. All of the eras suck. They suck. We can't even get the defense right, man. And don't get me wrong, the offense sucked too. They only scored 2 field goals. But for the love of Pete, the offense doesn't have much of a chance when the defense doesn't give them opportunities. Now, the one thing I will say, because you always hate saying, well, the officials, the refs, how in God's green earth did the Cardinals snap the ball, it fumbles, the Jets recover, and the refs go, that doesn't count. What do you mean it doesn't count? There wasn't a flag on either side, a false start, and offsides. You just let the play happen. Jets recover the fumble, and you're like, that play didn't count. What do you mean that play didn't count? I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen that in my life. That could have flipped the game because at the time, it was 21-6. The Jets would have taken over at midfield, and they would have had a chance to make it a one-score game. And yet, the play just didn't count because the refs didn't want it to count. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then it's non-challengeable. That was bizarre. But if we're being like, that was bullshit. There's just no other way to put it. There was complete and utter BS. But if I'm being honest, the Jets have a lot more problems than that, obviously. So the energy bullshit, I'm sick of. Ulbrich saying, I'm going to take a hard look at that. That bullshit, super annoying. I'm done with all that crap. Absolutely. Let me make sure I get to all my points here. The shitty tackling. Come on, man. Jeff Ulbrich, he set himself up for jokes. This week, he said, we did a special tackling seminar to specifically make sure that all of our tackling was on point and my technique. Well, that technique sucked. Sauce Gardner, come on, man. A third down. You got Trey McBride. You're on the Trey McBride ride, apparently at Disney World. He takes you for a ride and then throws your Limp Bizkit ass off and then gets a first down. But it wasn't just him. Everyone sucked at tackling. Or the Cardinals are the greatest team of all time at breaking tackles. And here is the funny, not so funny thing. We thought, oh boy, you stop the run, you stop the Cardinals. And the Cardinals went, hey, hold my beer. We're going to throw it all over the place. They ended up running it a lot too. But they threw it all over the place. The Jets were like, whoa, what the? And the Ulbricht's like, they threw it a little more than we thought. How can you not be prepared? There are two things they can do. Run or pass. It's going to be one of those two every time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And now we're back to Tankathon Watch. We're back to Tankathon Watch. This sucks, man. I've said this before, but this is the most disappointing New York Jets season in the history of this franchise. When you consider expectations, when you consider everything this was supposed to be, a whole lot of crap. A whole lot of nothing. You need to pour gasoline all over this thing, and we got to tear it down from the roots. Tear this thing down. Ulbrich, goodbye. Terrible. All of it. Just god awful. Yeah, I'm seeing all your guys' comments here. Let's see. I hate how Sauce says, let's go to our boy Dalt. I hate how Sauce says it's one tackle he missed, but he misses tackles every game. It's insane how much Sauce has fallen off. Who cares more about golfing and streaming than working on his skills? Yeah, again, I'll have to double check the numbers. The coverage stuff has been pretty good this year, but the tackling's been disgusting. And the fact that he can't tackle, you can't rely on your guy to just get a tackle, to just wrap up. And all these guys, Quincy Williams missed tackles. Everybody was missing tackles. An interesting question posed here by my boy Dane, our resident Buffalo Bills fan. Bye-bye Rodgers then? If it was up to me, I think one possibility is keeping Aaron Rodgers and then drafting a quarterback in the first round. That would be my ideal plan because the Jets, if Aaron Rodgers walks away, they owe him the dead money they owe him. So, to me, I'm fine with Aaron Rodgers returning. He has had problems, obviously. He's got to get rid of the ball. He's got to make plays happen. But I can't put this disgusting loss on Aaron Rodgers. The Jets missed 20 tackles, which, according to the ESPN stats and info, is the most tackles missed, in a game. I see Danny then say, keeping Rodgers isn't tearing it all down. Well, when I say tear it all down, I don't mean cut every player on this roster and literally no one will be on the team that was on the team previously. That doesn't make any sense. So I don't want people to misinterpret tearing it all down. Tearing it all down, to me, is all the coaches are gone. Brant Boyer, all of them. You're getting rid of all of the guys. See ya. The coaching staff is gone, but there's going to be obviously there's a large chunk of the roster that's going to be gone. I believe someone tweeted out. I'll have to double check the numbers, but someone tweeted out that 30 players of the Jets 53 are like scheduled to be free agents or something. So like obviously a lot of those guys are going to be gone. But in terms of that, I would be open to Aaron Rodgers returning. So not everyone's going to be gone. Not everyone's going to be gone. We'll see. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers just decides to retire. I don't know. I don't know Aaron Rodgers personally, but I would assume. And I see people saying I froze. I know I'm in a. If you guys can still hear me, I'm in a compromising situation. Hopefully, it's only last a couple more days. So I apologize for any of the quality of these broadcasts. But I'm not whispering today, so that's progress. So hopefully that is fixed from that perspective. Yeah. So personally, what I would do is I would keep Aaron Rodgers if he wants to stay. If he retires, and I guess you have no choice, but it just doesn't feel to me that he would retire with everything that's going on. It does not feel so. I do want to take a random message, a random aside, rather, excuse me, from all the New York, a proper salute. As my father has said in here a couple of times, StreamYard actually is having some issues with some of the commenters coming in. But happy Veterans Day. Let's all give a salute where it is duly noted. So where it is duly noted, that is what I would like to highlight. So special Veterans Day, everybody. Yes. PPG says, listen, no new coach wants AR as quarterback. You have to move on. Why can't, to me, let's let them make that decision. So, to me, Joe Douglas, you're gone. You suck. Get out of here. You can't win games. General manager record is 100% on a general manager. So, Joe Douglas is gone. Obviously, Salah's gone already. Like, I'm cool with that. Those new people coming in making that decision. Let me, I guess, clarify from that perspective. So I'm fine with them making that decision. They should make that decision, quite frankly. If they say, hey, we're moving on, we're starting fresh, God bless, so be it. But I think it would be sort of intriguing, to be honest with you, to have a first-round quarterback and then Aaron Rodgers, and then ride out the Aaron Rodgers train, hopefully for the full season. If he gets hurt, then you go to the kid. So or you have Tyrod Taylor still, so that would be another great option. So I'm not just moving on, but I'd leave that in the hands of the new people that are taking over. But it's a good comment, PPG. It's a good comment. For sure. I appreciate that, everybody, for family first and things of that nature. Yeah, 3 siblings. That's it. Look at that record. 30-63. That's disgusting, man. That's friggin' disgusting. That sucks. That sucks. That's not good enough. By the time the season's over, this man will have managed, for lack of a better word, the New York Jets for 100 games. As someone tweeted out, he's got a worse winning percentage than Mike McCagnon and John Idzik. Like, he's just terrible. And he had a good draft. Every blind squirrel finds a nut. See ya. Goodbye. We got to start over. Absolutely start over from the roots. Phil mentions Ben Johnson. I love Ben Johnson, man. I know there was some questionable decision-making last night in that Texans game. They should have run the ball a lot more. They ended up winning the game anyway, so give them credit for that. But I would love Ben Johnson. I'd give him a blank check. Todd Monken is one I would like. He's an older guy that's more proven, not necessarily as an NFL head coach, but a guy who's in his 50s. He's a great offensive play caller. He's been coaching football for a long time. So Ben Johnson's a youngster, which, again, everyone's chasing the Sean McVay copy and paste. But Todd Monken would be, to me, an exciting hire. Those would probably be the top 2 on my list. They'd probably be the top 2 on my list. Number 1 Austrian Jets fan. Do we have Ulbrich back as DC in 2025? Absolutely not. Get out. No. See you. Absolutely not. Go somewhere else, pal. No. Pack your bags, buddy. You go. Rex Ryan is our DC. I like it from a sex appeal standpoint, Phil. But the problem is that Rex Ryan, being a former Jets head coach, now none of the players are going to be the same from 2009 and 2010, obviously, but that could cause some uneasiness for your head coach if things go south. Rex Ryan, because of his gigantic personality, um, could make things uneasy when things go bad because people say, maybe Rex Ryan should be the head coach. So that could cause some drama. But if he was cool just being a DC and nothing else, of course that would be fun. Old and retired. Cheer up, Paul. This is just sports. Today's reminder how much more serious and dangerous life can be. There's no doubt about it. And I don't want to make little of that, old and retired, our YouTube commenter. Um, I what what why I've got into sports, to be honest with you, and why those two things are so closely aligned. If we don't move, me and my family, if we don't move from South Carolina 16 years ago, I believe my path, my calling was the military. I was a sergeant in JROTC. I heard it, what everyone, all the recruiters are talking to me in high school. It seemed pretty clear that that was going to be my path. We move away from South Carolina up here to New York, and there's no JRTC. So then I get into sports. So it felt like to me those were the two paths that kind of laid out in front of me from that perspective. And what I really liked about the sports path, which is ultimately the path, obviously, that I went on, is that sports can be a cool distraction from life. And that to me is a lot of fun. I've gone through some stuff, and so have other people. I won't just make it about me, but people have gone through stuff, and ooh, green team, I can root for them for 3 hours. Or oh, cool, boy, Green Daily. I've got personal family problems at home, but I can listen to Boy Green Daily, have a laugh, or this or that or the other. So to me, that's a really cool part of the job. So I'm in. Long story short, it can be a distraction. This what I do, and hopefully for you guys watching the Jets, although it's been a bad distraction, I suppose, as of late. But to me, I am invested, for better or for worse. I ride the highs, I ride the lows. I am an optimistic person by nature, of course. So I always try to see the glass half full. It's kind of my default setting. For how you guys want a fan. I don't tell people how to fan. Um, Dave Briga says Ben Johnson will never come here. Woody has poisoned this environment. Well, we don't talk politics on the show, but Woody Johnson sounds like he's going to join the Donald Trump administration, as he did when Trump was president a few shekels ago in the UK as the ambassador, which would mean that Woody would hire the new general manager, he'd hire the new head coach, and then he would take his post outside of the country and thus hand the keys of the franchise over to Christopher Johnson. So Ben Johnson maybe is a long lost son of Woody Johnson. I don't know if there's any relation. Maybe. I'm not so sure. But people that just say, the Jets can't get blee, blah, or blue because they're the Jets. I don't swim in those waters. Money talks. The Jets are one of 32 NFL head coaching positions. The Jets are one of 32 general manager positions. That is an attractive job. And if you get it right, if you get the job right, if you complete the turnaround, you are a legend. And to me, that would be incredibly intriguing. Maybe I'm an arrogant bastard. I don't know. But if I was out there, I'm like, ooh, if I flip them, I'm, this guy. So that to me would play. That would be an attractive part of the recruitment. NC says Rex won't take a DC job. He interviewed for 2 or 3. What are we talking about, NC? He interviewed for the Broncos DC job. I think the Cowboys DC job he interviewed. Yeah, he definitely did. So Broncos, Cowboys. He's interviewed in several DC jobs. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Let's go to Uncle Tio here. We'll open up the phone lines here in a little bit. But what happens to the four? Sauce, Cheetah, Breeze, JJ, Future. So let's talk about some of these important decisions. Following this season, the New York Jets have a fifth-year option decision to make in early May on three of those four. That is Sauce Gardner, that is Garrett Wilson, and that is Jermaine Johnson. Only first-round picks have the fifth-year option. Obviously, players who are not a first-round pick, i.e. Breece Hall, there's no fifth-year option to have. Breece Hall only has 1 year left on his deal after this season, that is 2025, and then he will be scheduled to be a free agent. So you have three fifth-year option decisions. I would open up the extra tabs, but since the computer could be a little hazy, I won't. But to see the specific money, the specific numbers. But I imagine the Jets are exercising all three of those options, pending, I guess, the Jermaine Johnson recovery timeline from the Achilles. But I would imagine all those options are being exercised, which means they'd be under contract, each of those guys, for 2 years, 2025 and 2026. That'd be the case for Sauce, Garrett, and Jermaine. For Breece, of course, after this season, it's also important to note that these guys can start to discuss contract extensions, potential contract extensions. For the first time in their careers, they could talk about that after this season. So we'll see. I'm sure Breece will say, yes, any running back, hey, I want to get paid, man. I don't want to be playing on a rookie contract, maybe get hurt or what have you. So it'll be interesting to see how the Jets handle that, or their new staff, because, it's hard to speak on a lot of these because we don't know who the staff is. Is it someone that values running backs? Is it someone that values this, that, or the other? Some of these things we don't know, Tio. But I imagine this four is going to all be back next year. That would be my guess. That would be my guess at this point. But I appreciate the comment, Tio. Good question. Hector Cabrera, BG. How many coaching jobs do you think will be open next year? Well, normally the average is 7 to 8 jobs, NFL head coaching jobs, are open on a year-to-year basis. So that's kind of who the Jets are competing against in theory. I think the thing that helps the Jets is that their position has been open the longest. So Woody Johnson, that is, can't interview like Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn because they are contracted. You can't do it in the middle of the season. And now there's all these new NFL rules for how you can interview people that are currently in the NFL. And the process is sort of dragged along. So you're forced to interview a lot of candidates. They want you to do that. They kind of don't want the process to overtake the playoffs. They kind of want them in separate pools if the NFL can control it. So long story short, the days of the Jets hiring a coach like 3 seconds after are over, which, by the way, I'm kind of cool with because I want the Jets to take their time to make sure they get the decision right. So normally it's 7-8 jobs is the opening. However, now, so obviously you can't interview guys right now that are in the NFL. There's rules on that. You've got to wait a significant period of time. What you can do is people that are currently not employed in the NFL. So I will use Rex Ryan as an example. Again, to me, he's not going to be the head coach, but Rex Ryan is an example. He's not currently in the NFL. You could interview him right now for the head coaching job, or anyone else of that matter that's outside of the field. John Gruden. I've heard a lot of fanfare for John Gruden. You could interview him right now for the job. Absolutely. That's not against the NFL rules. But people are in the NFL. There are rules for that. Admirable Mighty Buffoon. Our season is over. Now what do we do? Well, obviously you got to ride out the rest of this year. Now, technically speaking, now no one's going to want to hear this. If the Jets won out, they could make the playoffs. But the problem is they're not going to win out. And I'm an optimistic guy. Again, by the time we get there for the Jets-Colts game, thank God that's at 1 o'clock instead of Sunday Night Football. When we get to that point, I will be like, woo, let's go Jets. Let's beat the Colts. In the moment, I'll be thinking about beating the Colts and taking care of business. But right now, in this moment, fresh off another loss, it's hard to see the path, to be honest with you, Admiral. So we got to ride out this season. Root for your – this is how – I won't tell other fans how to root. I'll explain how I root. When it's a game day, I'm fired up. I'm like, Jets, Colts, let's go. And I'm fired up. I'm rooting for a win. And if the Jets lose after the game, we'll do a post-game show. I should be back in my home office, hopefully. I will rationalize the loss if that is to happen and say, well, okay, the Jets got a better draft pick, this, that, or the other. Again, some people tank and go into the game and say, oh, man, I hope the Jets get crushed by 40. I don't root that way. But again, I don't tell fans how to fan. But I'm a rationalization guy for either wins, losses, or anything in between. That's kind of where I am on that front, for sure. But like I said, Ben Johnson and Todd Monken would be at the top of my list at this point. And as Phil said, anyone who wins with the Jets is a god. That's why, to me, it would be very, very, it would be very great. NC, I've not heard anything official about Woody getting rehired. That is not official yet, by any means. So I want to make that clear. Jonathan Jones, NFL CBS insider, and Ian Rapport both shared that Woody's expected to be offered and take that position. Nothing is official. Last year, it was reportedly offered or accepted unofficially in like January, February-ish, and then it didn't become official until August when he actually had to take the position and then leave the country. So there's a lot of hoopla that could put all that together. But nothing official yet. And there probably won't be anything official. It's November 11th right now. Probably won't be official for a couple of months. Admiral Mighty Buffoon. Can we even beat the Colts next week? We'll see. I mean, Joe Flacco. Well, because if you think about the Texans game, the Jets pass rush can get after guys. And Joe Flacco, again, has the mobility of a parked car. So if you could get after him, you have a chance. But the thing I fear, again, is the Colts run game. Jonathan Taylor, pretty good. And the Jets run defense, pretty bad. So that could be a ripe combination for not good things. Oh, yeah, shout out to Mike Williams. Gets the touchdown. Gets a touchdown for the Steelers to win the game. I love this. Let's bring up this comment from NC. By the way, Olu held up pretty well at left tackle. And I think this was like one of those perfect situations where, you know, the things that happened on the field ended up resulting in the best thing. Tyron Smith has not been playing well for the majority of the season. There have been spurts where like, oh, okay, there he is. But for the most part, it's been bad. And Tyron Smith got a neck injury. You never want to root for an injury. He gets a neck injury in the Cardinals game. Olu Fashanu to left tackle, his natural position. He is the long-term left tackle for the New York Jets. There's no question about it. So it was great to see him finally get put in there at left tackle, not guard, not right tackle, not this position, that position, left tackle. And to be honest, I hope Olu Fashanu is a left tackle for the rest of the year. Let him get these reps. Someone asked, what do we do now for the season? Let's evaluate some talent, man. Let's get Olu Fashanu some reps. He is the long-term blindside protector for Aaron Rodgers or God knows whoever else quarterback is coming in here. It was great to see Olu out there. So I was happy for that. Again, you never root for injury, so you feel bad for Tyron, but it's great to see him out there. Absolutely. Dr. Cornelius, there is technically a path to the playoffs. They would have to win out, but their margin for error is gone. I said it last week that if you get 10 wins, to me, you make the playoffs. Over the last 3 years, any team that won 10 games made the playoffs. But you'd have to win out. Have the Jets shown the capability that they can win that many games in a row? Unlikely. It would be 7 in a row, actually. They're 3-7 now. If you get 9 wins, you lose like all the major tiebreakers. So it just seems incredibly unlikely. On Sunday, I will be rooting for it to happen. I will be trying to manifest it into existence, but, rough. That's rough. Tio, did we think when the schedule came out that the Cardinals would be a first-place team when we played them? No, but on that Rich Eisen call I did, Cardinals were the first loss. They're a sneaky team, man. Very sneaky team. They've had bad games this year, but they're a sneaky team. No thank you on John Gruden. Okay, different strokes. Some people love John Gruden. Some people hate him. Okay. They have to be tanking on purpose. Maybe. Jonathan Taylor's going to truck stick sauce. That could be. Now, Rex may not take a DC job with the Jets, but he has been interviewing for DC jobs elsewhere. Three siblings. Extend GW and wait for everyone else. It'll be interesting because I mentioned that these players, all of the players from the 2022 class, so Sauce, Garrett, Brees, and Jermaine, are allowed to speak about an extension. That doesn't mean they will get one. It doesn't mean that it's coming. The Jets say, you know what, let's pay him now because the money's only going to get crazier. The three siblings point, is that Garrett? Is that whoever? I would imagine not Jermaine. He's coming off a serious injury, so he's probably put on the shelf for a while. Sauce obviously is coming off a horrible year. If I'm Sauce, I don't want to talk about an extension because if I do and I sign with the Jets, I'm getting a bad deal. I'm not in a position of power. So if I was Sauce, I wouldn't. If Sauce wanted to, maybe we could get him on a nice deal. Now I know a lot of people are down on Sauce for the tackling, and understandably so. He's still a good player. He's just not this crazy elite player right now. He was an elite player the first 2 years. First team All-Pro, no question about it. He was an elite player. But he has obviously not played like an elite player this season, point blank. That's the honest truth, is that he has not played like an elite player this season. I don't have to tell you that. You guys obviously know that. Look at everything. I mean, look at the interception list streak. And man, does a guy need an interception more? Is there a guy on the planet that needs an interception more than Sauce? Because maybe if he just got a pick, something would click, something would snap, the synapses would fire if he just got that. I'm curious if that is the case, if that is what suddenly would unlock things for Sauce. To me, that would be kind of interesting because I was thinking about that while watching the Cardinals. I'm like, man, can this brother just get an interception for the love of everything that's holy? Like, can this guy just get a pick? And maybe it's just going to, like I said, get the juices flowing, the snowball effect downhill, pick up some steam and be able to do that. To me, that would be, that would be wonderful. Absolutely wonderful if somehow, some way that could happen. All right, sorry, the computer's having some technical difficulties. So, other people that have sent in their comments, I'll get to those. Again, I'm in a compromising situation right now. I might be in this compromising situation for a few more days. So, I'm going to try to power through and, do all these shows with all these things that we're dealing with here. And hopefully you guys still enjoy the product. So, I'm glad I get to be a little bit louder today. There's no one sleeping 3 feet away from me. In this situation. So that is promising. Blessed be he that I don't get to quietly whisper, although it seems like a lot of people appreciated the, oh boy, Green, I really like this, the New York Jets, blah, blah, blah. I'm glad that I don't have to do the whispering effect anymore. That's nice. Not for today, at least, as we're talking all things New York Jets here on the show. In a few minutes, I will attempt to open up the phone line to see if we can get some of your guys' thoughts on it. Sorry, because of all this extra hoopla. Excuse me, I was unable to do a post-game show last night, but it just had a lot to say. And just to reiterate some of those points for new people that may be joining us here on the program, it was just pathetic, embarrassing, and it just hurts, man, because when you just get punched in the mouth immediately, which is what happened. The Jets deferred. I don't mind deferring because I like the double-dip opportunities at the half. You defer in the Cardinals, bing, boom, bam, touchdown, 3 minutes in, and you're just like, whoa. And again, the Jets were able to move the ball in this game, but when you don't punch in touchdowns, it puts you in a tough spot. Now, the defense, again, allowed 5 straight scoring drives. Touchdown, 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 field goal, touchdown. I mean, it was painful. It was brutal. An absolutely brutal effort for the New York Jets defensively. And again, the thing that continues to just kind of eat away at me is that this defense was supposed to be the backbone of this team. It was supposed to be elite defensive play that set up the New York Jets for anything and everything that they were going to do. And the defense has been anything but elite. And, man, that just sucks, man, because last year, 2023, the vibes, the atmosphere with Aaron Rodgers and everything, the Achilles to blow out, and for the defense, who was awesome last year, to just suck this year now. Like, man, just terrible. Just terrible. Absolutely. Just friggin' terrible. Let's get we got this back up. Okay, we got a YouTube super chat coming in every time we get a YouTube super chat. Let me make sure we have all that up. We do. Okay, every time we get a super chat, we hear from my daughter, Soraya Luna.
Wow.
Defense needs to be overhauled entirely. Absolutely, it does. And that's what, like I said, I feel terrible that I even thought of it. I'm like, with all these changes, I'm like, boy, I really hope, that the defense can figure out a way to stick around and do this, that, or the other. And they've been terrible. They've been terrible. Absolutely god awful. So yeah, I see everyone talk about head coaching possibilities. That's something we'll have to do on the show. One of these Boy Green dailies, I guess. We'll talk about all the top potential head coaching candidates that the Jets could consider. We'll have to go through a lot of those. But I agree, Austrian Jets fan, and thanks for the member shout out. Glad to have you as an official member for the last 2 months. Defense needs to be overhauled entirely. By the way, I guess I'll flip this. I forgot to do it today on the show, but we're 28 members away from Phil getting his emoji. And I know times are a little rough right now, so Phil, you may not get that immediately, but that could be it. I see all kinds of other options here. Trade for Mike Tomlin. He ain't going anywhere. Uncle Tia, what pick we getting? Are we 6 or 7 now? Moving on up like George Jefferson to the top. Let me see. They definitely have a top 10 pick. I just tweeted out the Tankathon top 10. Let me see where the hell the Jets are at right now. We are. You are. 8th. The Jets are 8th right now. The tiebreaker for the draft is strength of schedule, which the Jets have a 491 strength of schedule right now. And obviously that's going to adjust as we go through the season, but they currently have a 491 winning percentage, or 8th overall. Now, the good news, if you're a tanking draft person, the number 1 pick only has 2 wins, and the Jets have 3 wins, so they're in a good position. For instance, there's a couple of these teams that haven't played the same amount of games that the Jets have. For instance, like the Jets obviously have not had their bye week yet, but neither has Tennessee, Cleveland, Vegas. Miami has, so they will eventually catch up because the Jets will have their bye week and they already had theirs. But Tennessee, let me go through all these. Yeah, Tennessee, Cleveland, Vegas have not had their bye yet. So those are 3 teams that are in front of the Jets that have not had that extra game. So we'll see how they fare themselves. But yeah, I can't believe, on November 11th, we're talking tanking and, the draft position and this, that, or the other. That is incredibly unfortunate, I'm afraid. Incredibly unfortunate. Hey, there we go. We're getting the memberships going. Let's shout out to our number 1 Austrian Jets fan for gifting a membership, baby. Alrighty, let me adjust this slightly. Okay, we're at 26 now because we're about to give another special shout out because that's not the only membership we just received, baby. Uncle Tio getting involved. You love to see it, baby. We are now 26 members away from Phil getting his gosh darn emoji, baby. And shout out to the 500 people that are in the room right now. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, and spread the good gospel of Boy Green Daily. Let me see who our new members are if I can get that quickly here. Again, I appreciate you guys powering through with everything that we got going on here. I really appreciate that. So let's see here on our new members, 2 new members, which we appreciate. Thank you kindly. And as Jared B., I see that you dropped the Discord. We have Brian Edwards. You got your membership from Uncle Tio. And Izzy Blanco. You got your membership from our number 1 Austrian Jet fan, baby. You love to friggin' see it. Beautiful. Love all the memberships pouring in. We're talking about draft in November. We're back, baby. We're back. Ooh, backwards aren't cool. We're going with the Travis Hunter. My gut would probably be quarterback, but, I'm going to be honest, I haven't really dove into mock drafts yet, hoping I wouldn't have to. Yet, here we are. So, could be the case. The Jets could get a bunch of, my brain's not working. We could get a bunch of comp picks, but that wouldn't be for 2025, unfortunately. That'd be for 2026. So if the Jets lost, they obviously have all these free agents coming up with Hassan and DJ Reed and all these other players. If they don't re-sign them and they go to other teams and sign big deals, the Jets could get comp picks for the following year. which would be a nice reprieve. But it kind of marries. It's a marriage. You have the free agents you lose, but on the other side, it's about the free agents you gain. So if the Jets sign a bunch of guys, that could kind of nullify some of the losses. So it's going to be kind of a combination effect there, a combination effect. All right, let me see this. Let me attempt to open up the phone lines here, and we'll see if we get some action working here. So let me. All right, let's see if we can get this puppy rolling. Of course, you guys can always join. Call into the show. Let me pull this up. All right, we just dropped in the call into the show little message. I'm about to pin that here in a second. There we are. If you'd like to call into the show, youtube.com/boygreen25. Feel free to call into the program if you'd like and share your thoughts on this game. Feel free to do so, and we'll bring some of you here on the program. All right. Let me see if I could get this to work appropriately with our odd setup happening here. Let's go to, I believe we got Ricky, New York here first. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, how's it going, Paul? You know what? I'm glad that you addressed the fumble that never happened from yesterday, because that I know that the game didn't, hinge on only that play, but that certainly seemed to swing the momentum, even further. Not that it wasn't lopsided to begin with. You know what? That being said, and the officiating was awful in that. The McBride play that set up that Marvin Harrison touchdown, Reddick got held. It was very similar to the Jermaine play in Kansas City, where, his jersey's pulled a foot away from his body, and there's a ref right there, and there's no flag. It looked like Harrison pushed off a little bit on his touchdown too, but they were hand fighting pretty good, so I don't really have that big of a problem with them letting that go. But yeah, there were some strange calls, but that being said, that's not why we lost the game. 20 missed tackles. It looked like even more than that. Their guys bouncing off of multiple tacklers over and over again. And that was just absolutely disgusting. And the other thing is even listening to the broadcast, everybody's saying it all week long, like the Jets are going to have to keep an eye on Kyler. And you know what? It's very smartly, they didn't run him between the 20s at all. But then he scored on us twice. So they did a good job of the way that they used him, and we got out coached. And that's all there is to it. And I wanted to ask you a question though. We changed our run scheme from last year. It was supposed to benefit Brees, but do you think that it has? Because it doesn't seem like it's been as good.
Yeah, obviously last year we had that 11-game stretch where Brees was really ineffective last year. So there has certainly been pops, but to be honest, I think teams have just said 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers beat us. And occasionally he has with a couple of pops, but to be honest with you, it's been teams stacking the box and being able to stop Brees. And obviously Brees very early in the season, he was going down on first contact no matter what. So that also didn't help. So I don't know if it was a scheme issue, because obviously Brees Hall has the talent. I'm not sure if it was a scheme issue. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was it, because Brees had struggles last year too.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And the other thing that I wanted to say is I'm not going to kill Sauce on that tackle. They did away with the hip drop tackle. So how is Sauce, who's built like, a broomstick, going to stop a guy that's built like a brick shit house that, you know what? I guarantee you Sauce is not the only guy that McBride has run over all year. The bigger problem I have is the other guys that, bounce off him afterward. It was, if I was on that Jets defense, there would be no 7-on-7, 11-on-11, none of that shit. I wouldn't be lining up across from anybody but a tackling dummy all fucking week long. And if I was the coaches, I'd tell them, you know what, if you're on defense, every time you see one of your teammates, give them a big hug. get those guys used to fucking wrapping up, for goodness sakes. Make it a subconscious thing. Build the family bond while learning to wrap up every single time. Uh, at any rate, I got an idea. Even though Florida State's been god awful, the one thing that has been good is their secondary, and I wouldn't mind stealing Patrick Surtain Sr. Away from Florida State to bring in as a defensive coach if we start to overhaul this thing. So
Ooh.
we could talk to him. He's not in the NFL right now, and that's the one thing that I can say is that he gets those guys playing man coverage, and he's got all those kids playing great. Just the rest of the team sucks.
I like that. I like that suggestion, Ricky. Yeah, that could be good. The thing that is demoralizing, to your point, is how are we in week 10? Week 10 is just wrapping up for the Jets, and we're talking about tackling. I feel like Allen Iverson. We're talking about tackling. We're talking about this team not being able to tackle.
Well, you know what? When we're talking about like tackling and talking about fundamentals and things like that and lack of discipline, that all comes down to coaching, man. Like, I've made some excuses, I guess, for Ulbrich. I thought that, he was at least fiery. It showed some more emotion than what Saleh did. But at the end of the day, maybe these guys being players, coaches, as good as it is to have a coach that has a connection with the players, maybe they're just too easy on them because there's definitely something there. Because like I said, we're getting out coached, we're getting out schemed, and a third of the way through the season, halfway through the season, we shouldn't be talking about fundamentals and discipline and issues like that. So it's got to fall on the coaching.
Well, I can't hear you. I'm gonna have to maybe call back. Maybe it's my end. I'll try calling back.
Hey, Paul, we still can't hear you, but I'll make my comments and then you can comment after you come back. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea, putting the headphones on. But, I mean, as far as I see it, it's been fool's gold since 2022. We thought, Saleh turned his team around. We went on a 4-game winning streak in 2022, and since then, this coaching staff has put these players on a pedestal, and there's just no accountability in preseason training camp. Nobody tackles. We don't practice tackling. We come out week 1 in San Francisco. We can't tackle. We had all training camp to practice tackling, and they can't tackle, and they still can't tackle. But I think we have a lot of talent on this team. We just need to get a head coach and a coaching staff, a head coach in here that'll bring these guys together. These players play like they're by themselves. There's no continuity. They don't play together. Kinlaw, he's trying to make plays by himself, not filling the gaps. It's just evident. Every game we are underprepared for. I feel bad for these players because they're underprepared every single game. And Rodgers, while he was once great, he cannot run. So every defense is just, they know where he's going to be every second. You don't have to account for him running at all. So it limits our offense. And he can't throw the ball. There's no balls downfield all game. Everything is 5 yards. So if you're a defense, you're like, all we have to do is tackle. So, hey, have a great day. I'm will always be a Jet fan. I just want to see this thing turned around. If I think we get Vrabel, I think we'll be good.
Paul, I'll be the sacrificial lamb. I called twice, but we can't hear you at all. We haven't been able to hear you for a few minutes. So should I just keep talking, or what should I do? Just blink twice if I should talk or not. You completely. Oh, okay. You want me to talk? Okay, I gotcha. Everyone keeps. Oh shit. Okay. I'm beyond the point where I'm frustrated, but at what point are the players held accountable? I know coaching is not great, but are these guys peewee? Well, we're back to peewee football where they can't tackle. Why are we doing tackling drills with players at this level? Okay. Salah had the same issue. Ulbrich had the same issue. So it's a culture thing, as far as I'm concerned, where maybe organization. I don't know. That's the root cause of the problem. No accountability. That's the way I feel about it. The Sauce. Look, I don't know if I'm still alive. I'll just keep talking. The Sauce Gardner McBride thing was just the tip of the iceberg for our season. Let's just put it that way. I don't know where we go from here. I'm not going to pound on people. They want to keep people around, but I would have tried to trade a Sauce Gardner or something if we could have fleeced somebody for a first. I don't ever be what he was, and anybody who thinks you top coordinator to come in here has got to be out of their minds. Who would want to take a chance on their career? If you're 3 years old, rising star, why would you come to the Jets? It's a complete it's an organization. Oh, hi everybody. I got you now, Paul.
Ted, can
We
you
got
hear
you.
me?
We're good, Paul.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah.
You're good. I was just saying that at one point, we're doing tackling drills, Paul, with fucking grown men, Paul. Okay. And this has happened since the Salah regime. So somewhere in the culture of this team, if there is one, is an issue. And I'll say this, a lot of it is on the players because they get their checks too, and they're looking for second contracts. And if they're thinking they're going to get some kind of booming contract, they're fucking going to be shit out of luck, as far as I'm concerned. Sauce Gardner's costing himself beaucoup money right now. He's the top guy. And my point before was, I'm not going to pound on. I'm not going to pound on Ulbrich because he was put in a bad spot. But there is a culture issue, and I'm going to say it again. Maybe we should have traded some of these players like a Sauce Gardner. If we could have gotten a one for him, I don't know if he'll ever be what he'll be. And you're not going to get what top coordinator are you going to get to come into this shit show, Paul? Who would, if you were a 40-year-old rising star? I sound like Alan now. If you're a 40-year-old rising star for the Texans, or I mean, even for the Lions, right? He's the OC for the Lions. If you're a rising star, why would you come here? You could probably go to the Cowboys. You could probably go to people with teams with much better talent, or you could stay where you're at. And I don't know how old Dan Campbell is, but is he in his 60s? Maybe I don't know how long he wants to coach. Maybe you take over for Dan Campbell.
Yeah, let me see on Campbell. He is.
I don't know, Paul.
He's 48.
Paul.
Yeah, he's 48. But I think a lot of people have warts though, because like sure the Jets have problems, but like the Cowboys, they got Jerry Jones for God's sakes, and he runs the entire operation. So I think other places have warts too. I don't think the Jets are going to be this most unattractive thing. I think there's going to be a chance to sell their pitch. Nope, I think we lost Ted. Okay, well, apologize, guys. I know this has been wild, and I'm seeing the comments of no silent Boy Green. Someone said that was their favorite version of Boy Green, which I that's funny. I appreciate that one. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. I think Delusional Jets fan joins us. What's up, Delusional?
Hey, what's going on, BG? I just want to start off by saying Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. I know your pops is a veteran. I served 6 years myself.
Thank you for your service.
Appreciate it, brother. I just kind of want to touch on what FL NY Jets FL just said, man. A lot of this stuff is on the players and Joe Douglas, right? Like since this historic draft, all he's done is subtract from our strengths and band-aid our weaknesses, right? He fell into Quinnen Williams. What has he done to help him? Who's the run stopper like he had at Alabama? Sorry, to help him get to that elite level. Who are the vets that we brought in to help Garrett and Brees? Nothing till Devontae Adams after the season was over, right? Sauce in college wasn't a great tackler, didn't have a lot of interceptions. First 2 years didn't have a lot of tackles, a lot of interceptions. So I don't understand why Jet fans are looking at Sauce and expecting him to be Revis when he never showed you anything like that. What a good GM does is get good safeties who are ball hawking safeties or who are tackling safeties to account for things like that. Jordan Whitehead, we gave him shit, but Sauce and DJ Reed talked about his communication skills, you know, basically like saying that was kind of the he was the communicator for the DB room, right? We don't have that anymore. We let a bunch of guys go who wanted to be here, who wanted to be Jets, who were good for the culture, and we didn't replace them with anybody, right? And VJ, I got a question for you, man. I know you played football, right? When you played football, right, and a guy got a penalty, did anybody on the team ever once be like, damn it, coach, we're not disciplined enough?
No.
No. You look at the guy who got the penalty and you were like, fix your shit.
That was
Right.
it. That was funny. Our players would go up to each other, give each other shit like, dude, pick up your shit, man. Come on. There's
Like,
10,
what are you
10
doing?
out there of us out there. Yeah.
So I don't think it's a culture thing. Like, I keep hearing Saleh had a bad culture, Saleh's this, Saleh's that. And I'm like, since when? Since when? First 2 years, or I'm sorry, since the draft or whatever, those 2 years, all we talked about was Saleh, the culture builder, and the things that he did for this team to change the direction of this team that actually gave us hope that made this season hurt so much, right? And then we let those guys go like Quan Alexander, Shepard, JFM, all those guys who wanted to be here, good for the culture, good tacklers. Um, we let all those guys go for nothing. No replacing them. And this is why our team keeps falling apart at the seams, because Joe Douglas gets away with these mediocre moves, and Salah's left to answer now Ulbrich, right? Like the issue 2 years ago wasn't the offensive coordinator. It was Zach Wilson sucking and us having no answers for our O-line sucking. The issue last year was Zach Wilson sucking and no answers for the O-line sucking. But what do? We fire Mike LaFleur, the young offensive-minded OC who held people accountable that people didn't like, and we let that guy go, and we played the Nate Hackett game. And we went from a team that was kind of being built in the elk of the 49ers and the Eagles to like this Green Bay Packers Titans reject BS that we got going on right now. Like I don't know how guys are saying JD should get another year or this was Salah's fault when if you clearly look at it, and let's go back to the draft, right? That 2021 draft was loaded, and JD essentially had 4 first-round picks. Anybody could have hit in those 4 first-round picks. If you take the next best guys in each position, we're talking about instead of Sauce, Tariq Woolen, who intercepts the ball, instead of Brees, Kenneth Walker, who's still a great running back. Then you have your choice of Chris Olave or Jamison Williams, still
Drake
great
London,
receiver.
yeah.
Drake
Sure.
London, right? And George Karlaftis instead of JJ. Still the most historic Jets draft in our history. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of what's going on right now is us excusing the GM and kind of playing the scapegoat game and the blame game. And this is the result, man. We got this crappy season.
Yeah, well said. Delusional. Thanks for calling in. I hope you're calling again, man.
Of course, man. Have a good one.
All right, thank you. And again, appreciate you for your service. Yeah, 100%. It's, and he was talking about the 2022 draft class. 2021 was Zach Wilson, which was also loaded, by the way, Micah Parsons, Jamar Chase, and all that. But we all know the quarterback decision that existed. That was either keeping Sam Darnold or trading him away as they did and going after Zach Wilson. I mean, the rest of that quarterback class sucks. So, all right, let's try a few more callers here. I think we figured out the technical difficulties. I don't want to try the technical gods by saying that like I haven't figured out and I don't. But let's try it again. We got Easy here on the show. What's up, Easy?
First and foremost, congratulations on the birth of your son. That's
Thank
awesome.
You. Appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
What some teams do after games is they have on their Tuesday meetings or whatever, they have the kangaroo court and they fine the players for stupidity. I believe they need to start fining the players $5,000 for missed tackles and, give the money to charity, but they need to do something that means something.
Yeah.
You miss a tackle, you're paying $5,000 to the charity of your choice, but you got to do it. It's got to hurt them a little bit. Second, I noticed the last caller said the Jets are doing tackling drills. Is that true, or is that wishful thinking?
Well, Jeff Ulbrich is the one who came out in his presser and talked about them doing some sort of special tackling seminar that they normally don't do ahead of this Cardinals game specifically to make sure they're tackling right. And obviously that meant a whole pile of shit. So.
Well, a seminar to me is bullshit. Actually hitting each other, that will get the job done because we're going to keep hitting each other until you figure out how to wrap a guy up. We're not doing cross body blocks, people. We're hitting people, wrapping them up and letting them and dropping them to the ground. That's the only thing that works. They teach it in Pee Wee. They teach it in Pop Warner, JV, varsity, college, every level. They teach this. And apparently these players think that they're special, and they're not. The other thing with Sauce Gardner, it's not his freaking job to tackle people. That is not his job. His job is to defend. I would like it if he would intercept the ball more, but tackling's not his job. Where is the defensive line? Where is the linebacker core? What the frig is going on with these guys? This third thing is everyone knew Kyler Murray was going to extend plays. They should have had one guy as his mirror image. One guy. Just follow this guy. Forget the guys running out for pass plays. You needed to have this one guy designated just for Kyler Murray. And I don't think they did a good enough job. They should have either had Jamian Sherwood or they should have had their fastest safety. Mm-hmm. Just someone who can cut the angles and tackle this man because he's too dangerous. He extends plays. He killed us all day, extending plays. It's just not any kind of accountability.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would just carry over what you said, that obviously if the front seven is doing their job, guys shouldn't be getting to the second and third level of defenses where Sauce has to make the tackle.
You
So
can't expect a guy 170 pounds who's basically he's a greyhound to keep up with their greyhounds. You can't expect a greyhound to tackle a bull mastiff. It ain't gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. These guys, by the time they get to that second level, they're running at a pretty good head of steam, 19, 20 miles an hour. I mean, that's just the guy is gonna make a business decision not to get his ribs crushed. I mean, it's what it is.
I think fans, I don't want to speak for fans, but I think fans would appreciate if the effort was there from Sauce, that he was trying to tackle. The problem is, it looks like, to your point, it is the business decision of, like, he thinks about it, it's like, and I think that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. So I think if he just tried really hard or held up, and then his teammates kind of.
Well, I think also he thinks, well, if I make this business decision to tackle this guy and I get hurt, how am I going to play my position at an elite level to further help the team? It's kind of like, what do you take? Which decision do you make? Do you make the decision, the business decision, to be able to stay out in the field and be available to cover the gazelles on the other team, or do you throw yourself into the mix and get your head taken off? Because he's a tall guy. He's 6'3", but he's a beanpole. He's very thin. His job is to knock the ball down, preferably to intercept it, but that's not his game. He'd rather just – he doesn't take chances. He always plays the player. He never just goes for the ball. So that's why he's been effective in the past. But we were also having more of a pass rush in the past. So he didn't have to cover as long.
Yeah.
He had to cover maybe 3-4 seconds, and that was it. Now he's got to cover, 6 seconds. It's that's not his game. That's no defensive back's game. It's just not how it's done. There's got to be continuity, and I'm starting to see the problems that JD caused by getting rid of some of these guys on the D line, thinking he was being cutesy. I mean, goodness gracious, you don't see it at the time. You think, well, this guy will fill in and that, but now all he's got are these undrafted free agents who just are not as good as JFM, not as good as some of the guys that he let walk in the off season. Just not. They're not as good. They're just not as good.
It's too bad.
And that's probably, even though he's built a lot of really good players on this team, he's probably going to lose a lot of really good players if he stays GM.
Well, I don't think we have to worry about that, easy.
Yeah, I mean, Woody is probably, if Woody was smart, he'd probably move the team to London and just stay there, and then we could get a new New York team to root for. I don't know what else to talk about. And the reason he fired Saleh is, as someone had mentioned this in another thing, Saleh, I mean, Woody had all of his buddies over there, all his other, ambassadors at that game, and the Jets embarrassed him. He was embarrassed in front of all his peers and all his other millionaire and powerful friends, and someone's head had a roll, and unfortunately it was Saleh.
Yeah, fair enough. Easy, appreciate the call, man. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And Saleh was not a good head coach. He was 20-36 as a head coach. While we can argue whether or not that was the right time to fire Saleh, and people have, they said, that's where the energy and everything was lost of the season. I don't know. There was a lot of problems when Saleh was here. I thought he stunk. So I'm not going to say, boy, if they would have kept Saleh, everything would turn around. I don't know if that's the reason, man. I don't know if that's a reason. Would things have been better? Maybe. I don't know. But all right, let's go back to the phone lines. We've got, let's go to this guy. We got Nicey 101.
What's up, Paul?
What's poppin', baby? Welcome to the show.
Nothing much, man. Kind of having a very interesting weekend, I should say, or start of my week. Miami lost to Tech, so that kind of hurt. And then the Jets played on Sunday, so it didn't make it any better. But It's all good, man. I just want to take up a couple of time, not too much, but I think it is a culture change. I majored in psychology and exercise science, so
Whoa.
I've tried to break down a lot of things when it comes to teams, and I know for a fact like it's effort in coaching, and the coaches aren't really getting behind these players the way that they're supposed to. It's little things like I played college football, I played college lacrosse as well. It's literally the little things. The good teams do the little things, and the Jets aren't doing it.
Wow. Okay. Somebody is nicey. Whoa, look at that resume. Good Lord have mercy. Okay. Wow. The Jets could use you.
I want to be honest. I want to start a GoFundMe, and I want to get my PhD, and I actually want to help the Jets. Like that's one of my main concerns right now in life. I want to get behind this team because I don't feel like anybody in that freaking locker room really cares about this team the way that we do.
Yeah, and that, to be honest, that's so. Obviously, we're all super passionate about this, or calling to the shows and celebrating and supporting the team and things of that nature. But that's the thing that hurts me the most when I hear Devontae and Aaron. Devontae in particular, I heard him say this a lot, but he's not the only one. But like, man, the energy's lacking. I just my little peanut brain can't understand. I get myself up for these games. I'm fired up. I'm running around the house. I know I'm not running out there on the football field anymore. Those days have long passed me, unfortunately, but like we get so fired up, so emotionally invested in this team, but the team can't have even a modicum of the same energy we have. I can't understand. I bleed green. I'm wearing Jets gear every single day of my life. How can this team not have the juice? Everything else, fine. Game plan, players, this, that, or the other. But at a bare minimum, how can you not have juice for every day? Not taking it for granted. The National Football League, a professional NFL team. That hurts me every time I hear that. After all these games, we've heard it for like 4, 5, 6 games now, and that's just brutal, man.
It's brutal, man, and I just think they're taking it for granted. This and I'm a part of this generation, so I don't want to say this new generation, but unfortunately, this is my generation. They're playing it like it's Madden. Everybody's out there trying to hit stick, run through people instead of just pressing square and wrapping up.
100. That is, I've never heard someone say it that way, but you know what? I saw so many times where I was trying to think of who was the guy who tried to hit stick. It was Isaiah Oliver. So there was a Cardinal player that came across, and a Jet player just went trucks, like hit stick, and then and then the guy just kind of bounced back. It was their Cardinals backup tight end Elijah Higgins, I believe, is the guy who got
Yep.
hit stick, and he just kind of bumped back, went up, okay, and then just started running forward. And he's like, geez, the hit stick normally works. And normally it's Sports Center top 10 play. It normally causes a fumble. I don't know what happened there, but it's so true that they're all trying to play hero. We had someone calling earlier about the Javon Kinlaw saying, "Oh, I'm going to get a sack," and he just like Moses just split the Red Sea on the defensive line because Javon Kinlaw tried to make a superstar play in his own, didn't work out, and then the lane opens up. Oh my God, you're right. So many players are trying to play hero ball, and it's all sucking for everybody else, man.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate your time. I'm gonna let some of the callers get in there. I'm driving into work. Hopefully we can figure it out. Hopefully the Jets hire me. Y'all fight for me, okay?
We will do. Nicey. Thanks for calling in. Hopefully you call again soon, man. We appreciate it. Great call. All right, let's get to this guy. We haven't had him on in a while. NYJKO, baby.
Hey, what's up, Paul?
Hey, what's up, man? Glad to
Yeah,
have you back on the show.
yeah, man. Thanks. Good morning, and congratulations on your son being born.
Yo, thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. My son will be here next week, so
Oh, congratulations, man.
yeah,
Many
man.
blessings.
Yeah, man. Been happy vets Day to all the veterans, including my older sister who served in the army, grandfather who was a Purple Heart in the
Absolutely.
military. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Appreciate her
know,
service.
yeah, man. But it's just like first off, I definitely want to give credit to Downings. Downings actually turn around a lot of things, and I think that's going unnoticed. And and he's not predictable like the Nathaniel Hackett's of the nature. Secondly, I've been saying that Olu should have been he should have just started from day one. I understand the whole because Tyron Smith's the old pro this that. The guy's been getting beat like a drum constantly. It's nerve wracking because it's like Roger can't set his feet for a couple seconds because the guy's already in the backfield on his blind side already. It's uncomfortable, and and honestly, I believe that I think this is Joe Douglas last season Because honestly, like all he really did was tear a team apart and give away draft picks. In my opinion, because when he got there, we had the Leonard Williams. We had some guys that should have stayed. Personally, I believe that Quentin Williams and Leonard Williams should still be together, wrecking game plans.
Mm.
Period. And that's number one. And then not only that, we let JFM go, we let Shepard go. What the fuck, Fado Cosby, we let him go. We had some good cerebral pieces that could help us against the run. So we take them guys out the way. Who do we have? It's nobody that can really play the run like that. Them guys took pride. Even Quentin Jefferson, a guy who had I think 10 sacks last year.
Yeah,
We let
6 sacks.
him
He had 6 sacks.
6 sacks. Yeah, he had 6 sacks, but it was his career high. But the guy can play.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
guy
they
can
let him
play.
go to Buffalo.
Exactly. And we had a chance to get him again. No call me. And I want to allude to something because I'm an ex football player myself.
Mm-hmm.
Play high school, play college. I was on the same team as Rasul Douglas.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We played at Dream in JUCO together. And the one thing that our coach stressed, you on that field, and it's true. If you're on that field, you must tackle. I don't care what position you play. I don't care if you play DB, linebacker. Everybody must tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So Sauce Gardner, I don't want to hear anything but well, no, that is his job. You're a defender. You must make that play. You must.
Absolutely.
And not only that, gang tackle, man. Like what's wrong? Like everybody just gang tackle, show them to the ball, hit.
Preach.
Cause yeah, because it's like when you gang tackle, it's a guarantee that the guy's going down. One on one, if guys are shaky, and I don't know how many times I've seen arm tackles, or the little BS shoulder tackle. No, hit, wrap, and roll, please.
I saw the Texans
Please.
doing that a lot last night. I was watching the Sunday night football game, and Jameer Gibbs got the ball a few times, and you had a heat-seeking Texan guy hit him, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they just overpowered him and threw him to the ground. I
Listen,
just love the
that's
swarming to the football.
that's how it's supposed to be. And if you see Arizona, you saw Buda Baker. You see everybody flying around. Everybody's flying around playing with their hair on fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's how a defense is supposed to play. That's how you're supposed to play. That's how you're supposed to wrap up. That's how you're supposed to hit. I don't care if it's one guy, two, no, 3 guys, 4 guys should be on the ball, following through. Because now when you factor that in, if we'd got that stop, our defense go to the field. It's a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, missed tackle, first down to go down and score. And just like in that Minnesota game, Sauce had to pick in the end zone, and he whips it, he drops it. What happens next play? They come and score.
Mm-hmm.
Like things like this matter.
Of
Make
course.
the play when it's there. You must make the play to go. And I was arguing with somebody in one of the Jets group fan groups.
Mm-hmm.
For first of all, I call him Soft Gardner because he's soft. I'm called spade a spade. Soft Gardner. First off, I told people like whenever he's the next Durant. Like first of all, we can't put him in the same category as Durant because Durant was tackled
Yeah, he
and he
did.
covered and he covered the number one guys. And so you see, Sauce not covering the number one guys.
No.
They got him in the zone, and I think they hiding something. They know something that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think he's fit for man coverage. I'm gonna call a spade a spade.
Okay.
And from the
I,
and from and from the looks of it, I don't think he's fit for man coverage. I just
interesting.
don't. I just don't, man. And you see guys like PS2, you see guys like Joey Porter Jr. Them guys is getting dirty in the run game and they're covering the passing game.
Physical. Yeah. Of
Physical. That's what we need. You need. It's a physical game. You must be. You got to be physical.
course.
Any good corner or decent corner that play on Super Bowl teams were good tacklers too. They were. They really were, man. Like if you look at the Steelers defense with Ike Taylor, Brian McFadden, and
Oh, there you go.
you got the Sante Samuels of the nature, Tyler. Like the teams that won the Super Bowl, they had everybody tackled. Everybody was dialed in. Everybody was tackling. It's like, and then even with the energy, I don't understand. Like, what's wrong? Like, what's the problem? Why is the energy off? Why? How come us as fans be motivated to watch our play, but y'all not motivated to go out there and make plays?
Disgusting.
I don't like for the life of me. I don't I love playing the game more than anything. Even if I ain't get, I just love going out there and performing. having fun. What's the problem? What is
Yeah.
the issue? Why you guys can't get it together? And see, I think DJ Reed, I think he needs to go. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
what's his, I don't know what's his issue. I think he just got to go, man. I think he just got the bag and just felt it, just didn't care.
Yeah.
And then now that teams are picking on him more. They're
Yeah. It
picking on
seems
him a
like it.
lot because
It seems
he's
like it.
little. And I think Travis Hunter should come. I think we should get Travis Hunter. We're
Okay.
on the Jets. We had to get him. We got to get bigger on the defensive line, and we had to get more. We had to get younger on the O line because if you see the Minnesota Vikings, their offensive line, them guys are all homegrown picks. Why can't we do that? Why just like Dallas, all guys are homegrown picks. Mold your O line, get them together.
Yeah,
Skill
I mean, we've
listen.
got a chunk of it because, like, you're going to have Olu, he's drafted. You have Joe Tippmann, he's
Thank you,
drafted. You have ABT, he's drafted. But obviously, the
thank
two other
you.
pieces are veterans. So, we'll have to see if the Jets can
Joe Tippman,
come
yeah,
far.
Joe Tippman, AVT, and Olu. Those are home. Like, come on, like just bring in the young guys, mold them together, let them get that continuity, that chemistry, and so we can be good moving forward. Everybody, we're a playoff team. We're gonna do this. Listen, I'm a diehard fan, but I'm not delusional. I don't think we cut for the place. I don't think we're ready to compete with the top teams. From looking what I've seen so far, this team isn't ready.
Well, we'll see if they're ready for the rest of the season. NYJKO, it's they got games coming, and there are some opponents that are coming on the schedule. Buffalo, Rams. I mean, shoot, there's going to be some teams. We'll see how the Jets compete, and that's what they're going to have to try to do for the rest of the season. Appreciate the call, NYJKO. Let's get to another caller, and it's our boy Devin here on the show. What's up, Devin?
Hey, BG, what's going on, my brother? Hey,
Hey, what's
man,
cooking?
congratulations on the birth of your son, bro.
Thank you so
That's
much.
big time. That's big time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, just a couple of things in my brain, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I watched this. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched a part of this podcast with like Sauce and what's the dude, the lanky dude from I just-
Ed
he's on
Sherman.
Thursday Night Football. Richard Sherman, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Sherman was talking to Sauce about how to tackle guys that are bigger than him because they're built in the same frame.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole thing about Sauce not tackling, like I get it, yeah, front seven, get to the guy, but you have to tackle. Revis was an amazing tackler. There's a lot of cornerbacks that are amazing tacklers. So to that point, to whoever like, I hear y'all that hopefully he don't have to tackle, but even Dion had to tackle sometimes. He didn't like it
Of
neither, but he
course.
had to do it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first thing. And I'm old enough to remember when Javon Kinlaw and Leaky Fotu got here, and Salah was talking about, oh, these guys are going to be amazing, and how he worked with Kinlaw and his rookie year and with the 49ers. I remember that shit. Bullshit. Kinlaw is terrible. He is fucking atrocious. Him and Clemens, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like they're the worst two. So you know what? I'm like, why can't we just give that to a younger kid? Like, why can't we get Leonard Taylor to just play? People said that he was not. He was more of a pass
Yes,
defender
right. That's what
rather
they
than
said early in the
a
year. Yeah.
run. Yeah, bullshit. That motherfucker be in the backfield. Let's teach him how to. Let's get him in there, and and you know what? If he's not, he still gets sacks. He probably got more sacks than Javon Kinlaw. I don't even know what the stats is, but like he gets in comparison to the amount of time that Javon Kinlaw gets in comparison to Leonard Taylor. I'm gonna give that time to Leonard Taylor because guess what? At least I'm gonna get some production from sacks, and he doesn't make the bonehead mistakes. Every game he's jumping off. Kinlaw's jumping off sides. Him and Clemens always. Clemens again can't set the edge. So what happens? Right around his ass. I'm like, I'm tired of seeing this, man. Like, so let's give some other kids some breaks. You know what? If Sauce can't tackle, you know what? I bet you Quantez Stigger's ready to tackle somebody. That dude is hungry. He ready to get some P time. And then these packages that we throwing out there, man, with these receiver packages, like I don't. Why is Xavier Gibson on the field? And I'm gonna talk. Speaking of, I got a lot of bones. Speaking of calling a spade,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. How many deep balls have we seen this season?
Oh, that many.
Right. Exactly. Why the fuck you can't throw the ball deep? Hey, you know what? And then here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, we gotta do every cater to Aaron Rodgers. Fuck that. I'm past that now. I'm done catering to your ass. You know what? I want a coach in here that's gonna say these are the plays we're gonna run. This is my offensive coordinator. You can run these plays. Oh, you can't? Okay, we'll retire your ass. I'm done, man. It can't be worse, bro. And I would also like to see for us to have let's get this kid. I got a question for you. Being that Jordan Travis is on IR, can we take him off IR, or he just has to stay there for the rest of the year? Do you know?
So he's not on IR. He's on the NFI list, which I'm not sure. Just to explain it to people. So because he had this college injury and he's on the NFI, which is the non-football injury/illness list, they could activate him at a time to use him. It just sounds like they're pretty committed to just riding him on that for the rest of the season. So
and
it
that's the
sounds like
problem.
the earliest we would see him is 2025, depending obviously on a variety of other coaches, this, that, or the other, how we get to see him. So yeah, I would imagine they do not unlock him off that list because of the college injury. It seems like they're pretty pot committed to that. But
This is why we stink, because when we see shit that's broken, we don't think about how to fix it. You know what I mean? Like if our season is to shit, like okay, then let's give the young players some. Let's see what we have. You know what I mean? Let's not guess. Let's not wait till 2025 to figure out these guys can play in a game. If our season is over, and by no means am I rooting for my season to be over, because I'd much rather see wins than losses. But
Sure.
You know what? I know what Javon Kinlaw is. I know what Michael Clemens is. You know what? Let's give somebody else a shot.
And to your point,
Rodgers can't throw the ball.
There are players that are obviously not going to be here. Javon Kinlaw is not going to be here next year. There's a long list of guys that are not going to be here next year. And again, to your same point, me and you are in the same mode. We're not tanking guys. We want the team to win. We're rooting for win. We've seen enough losses. We want them to win. But like at a certain point, why in the Kinlaw, Leonard Taylor the third? There's other examples where like a Quantez Stiggers maybe, or there's another young guy that are gonna be on the team next year and maybe for years to come. But we haven't seen what they can bring to the table yet. So why not dip your toe in those waters to see and go, whoa, actually surprised. This guy's not here. He's here. Oh, okay. We didn't know because we didn't open up that pantry. That'd be kind of nice to see.
Right. Exactly. So, and this is what I'm hoping. If once we are mathematically out of it,
yes.
You know what? Then you know what? Bring up Jordan Travis, because we're talking about a lot of the fan base is talking about drafting a quarterback for next year. Dude, we do not do well. I don't know where anyone's been. I've not in my lifetime of watching the Jets since I became a Jet fan in 1995. I have not seen to where we brought in a rookie quarterback and he was good. We had the one. I'm not going. Sanchez was okay, but we protected him. We coveted him with two stud running backs back there and said, hey, you're going to pass the ball probably 15 times a game. So that's how we protected him. So it wasn't like he came out here and was like, if somebody want to give me that as an example, say Sanchez was good. No, Chad Pennington was good, but his ass sat for like 2 years. So you know what? That's what we need to do. We got a year with Jordan Travis sitting down right now. I want to see what this kid looks like. I feel like he could provide a spark to this team and give us some hope for the future, rather than waiting for next year to draft somebody to come out of college and be like, oh, we need to give him time to develop. Bullshit. I want a coach in here that got some balls. I want a coach that says, hey, this ain't not working. You're going to sit down. You need to think about it. You need to think about something. Leaky Fodu, he came in here. He was supposed to have been the run stopper, quote unquote. But like, I feel like he's played like 2 games, like maybe 3. Like, I mean, come on, man. You ain't playing no game. So what the hell's that? Like, so anyhow, we're going to clean house. I appreciate some of the talents that Joe brought in here, but we got too many holes. And the problem that I have is what we see every single year. I need a GM to be proactive rather than late reactive. Because it's not even like he's reactive after like you see something for the first or second time. He is waiting, and then he makes a change. So that is the bullshit. Can't do it no more. Can't stand it, bro. I am so livid. I'm so like, and BG, I go hard for the Jets. So everybody see me. I can't wear my. You know what? I'm proud of you, bro, because you're still rocking that Jets gear every day. I was like, I ain't wearing no Jet shit today. I'm done, man. I'm like, I'm not even wearing my Jet shit today. Like, hey, DBZ, here we go. I'm something else, because you know what? everybody know they see me. I got people. I go drop my door off. It's like this little young lady Megan. She be like, "Oh, I can't wait to see the Jet fan. I know you the Jet fan, but she's a Cowboys fan." So ha. Anyhow, so your dad, and I hate when your dad is right too, man. He was right. He called this shit, and I was like, I hope you're wrong, man. He said it. He was like, they're gonna run all over our ass. And by the way, happy Veterans Day to him. I'm a vet myself, but like, happy Veterans Day to all you vets out there. I appreciate you guys. And BG, I appreciate you. And let's get Aaron Rodgers out of here, man. Like, if he come back next year, I need a coach to be like, yo, listen, this is my team. We're not bringing any of your little butt buddies over from Green Bay anymore. We're done with that. Devontae is a stud. He can't even make Devontae look good. You wanted him, and you still can't hit him on passes. Like, what's going on, man? Like, I'm watching. He's like, oh, this much. I mean, yeah, you're right, this much. You're not supposed to be this much. You're supposed to hit the guy. Like, bro, BG, I'm so mad, man. Like, but you know what? I'm gonna still be a Jets fan. I appreciate you, BG. Congratulations on the birth of your son, man. Congratulations to your family, and I love you, bro. Appreciate you taking my call, man. Let me vent this morning. I feel better now.
Okay, I think we're back. Okay, folks, let me know if we're back. I appreciate you. Sorry for the technical difficulties here. Dial up, yeah, it's happening here. I appreciate it. Appreciate the super chat from DNY for life. Apparently, audio Audi. That's right, Luna. Wow. Good now. Okay, yeah, we'll finish it off here. Because of everything that we're going through. Yeah, it is dial up that's happening right now, loud and clear. The fact of the matter is, we don't know what Jordan Travis is, but what I want the Jets to avoid is the Christian Hackenberg effect. The Jets drafted Christian Hackenberg. They didn't use him that first year. The next year, we're like, damn, well, we can't draft a quarterback. We still have Christian Hackenberg. And then we passed on Patrick Mahomes. So I would just say that I hope Jordan Travis works out. It'd be great. Whether he's a long-term starter or a long-term backup, either way would be incredibly attractive as a late fifth-round draft pick. But to me, you shouldn't let Jordan Travis go, we got that guy. We should draft a quarterback. In a perfect world, to me, the Jets have Aaron Rodgers. They have this long-term back, or not long-term backup, excuse me. They have Aaron Rodgers, and they draft a guy in the first round if the opportunity presents itself. I don't want them to force it. I don't want them to take a Christian Ponder. They said, well, we got to take a first round quarterback. I don't want you to force a quarterback in a round hole. If a young quarterback is available that you fall in love with and is great, then you draft his ass and you put him behind Aaron Rodgers for a year. But again, if the new regime does not want Aaron Rodgers, I'm fine with whatever they suggest. Let's go and make it happen. Everybody, thanks for powering through with me. Appreciate the 600 people in the room. I got to run to the radio station. God bless. We'll be back on. And again, we're only going to hopefully deal with these issues for another couple days. I'll be able to explain it fully, what's been happening at a different point. But appreciate everybody powering through, and we'll see you. Take care.